so excited because I have my daughter here with me, Gabrielle. I have 3 daughters, and Gabrielle's the youngest. She's the baby. She turned 18 in October, and you got some big stuff coming up, don't you?
Yep, college bound.
Yep, just graduated high school and headed to college. And one of the things I really noticed that's a big difference between my generation and yours, Gabrielle, we're 30 years apart, and a big difference is the social media. I'm sure you've noticed.
Yes, it is a huge difference. Social media is a big deal in my generation. I've almost noticed we're kind of addicted to it a lot. I'll maybe meet a friend for coffee, or they'll come over for a little sleepover, and we'll catch up probably 15 minutes, and when things kind of slow down in our discussion, we'll just grab our phone, and that's the first thing we do because it's more of a comfort zone. And we love that comfort that our phone gives us, and checking up on other people's lives, and instead of checking up on each other's. So it's definitely a big deal.
Yeah. And as someone that's from the generation before, we just didn't have that pressure of constantly seeing what other people are doing. In the olden days, we actually had a phone that was like on the wall that we'd pick up, and then that led into cell phones. I'm sure you've read about it in your history books.
Right.
But that's a lot of pressure to be constantly on there, and everybody's looking. And so does that, just being vulnerable, how does that affect your self-esteem or your friends or girls you know?
Yeah, it definitely affects self-esteem. It can immediately turn a good day into a bad day really quick. You could get on Instagram and you can notice your friend, and oh my goodness, she has a new puppy and it's so cute. And you're like, wow, she has 200 likes. Okay. And then you kind of look more and, oh, okay, that was in 17 minutes. That's cool. I've never even reached 200 likes. So it kind of makes you doubt yourself. Like, am I accepted, or do people like me? Or maybe you'll go to Twitter and you'll see she posted a picture of her and her prom date, and that's super cute. You're really excited for her. And then you zoom in, you're like, wow, she has really white teeth. I don't have white teeth. So you kind of, doubt yourself, and the enemy just comes in, and it just opens a door for him to just kind of destroy your mind and set your day on a bad tempo. So
yeah, because comparison's just huge. Women our age, my age, the older ladies, and even the generation before me, we all just wrestle with comparison. So to get a hold of that at a younger age, it would save you a lot of time and worry and frustration, and really it's just totally takes our peace away, doesn't it?
Right.
And it's terrible how you can tell like how many likes, and it's almost like people are voting right there on maybe even your worth. It sounds dramatic, but that's what it kind of feels like,
Yeah, exactly.
So then what would your advice be? Like, how are we gonna fix
it?
Is
the
there any
comparison.
way?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I've learned, and I'm still learning, is just celebrating others. And when they get a new car, maybe, or when they get a new puppy, or just kind of celebrating them and realizing like we have 2 different purposes, and God has a different plan for all of us. So we can look at them and say, thank you, God, that you gave them that gift. And Jesus, I am so glad that my gift is coming, and to furthermore your kingdom. So it's really cool that we can just lock arms together and just celebrate each other.
That's good. Because really all those differences, it's kind of like a whole bunch of different flowers. You got a rose, you got a daisy, you got the tulip, and the Lord created us all so different, and you put that whole bouquet together, and it just really makes him happy. But I know for me, if I'm trying so hard to be the rose when really I'm called to be a tulip, everybody's just gray, right? You know what I mean? Just like a lot of confusion, and there's not that distinct flower and that distinct fragrance. So do you have any like pointers on how to deal with it?
Yeah, social media, it's always going to be a huge deal, and I feel like it's just progressing and getting bigger. So the biggest thing that I think is just, instead of waking up and your alarm goes off, you're laying in bed, checking Facebook the first thing before your feet even hit the floor, is really just social media is a fleshy thing. Your flesh loves it. So taking your flesh off the throne and putting God on the throne, and just submitting to him and getting in his word first and saying, God, this is your day. And then I think it really changes your outlook on the day. And if social media comes up and you check it, you have the right mindset, and you can take things captive if they come, if the enemy comes. So that's the biggest thing, just surrendering to God and putting his word first.
That's good. I like what you said about taking thoughts captive. That's
right.
Great. Thanks for doing this with me.
Love
Appreciate
you.